And here we go. Brad Stutz and the Tommy Thomas have the privilege of being in the booth for this historic matchup on our 11th anniversary Premier Wrestling Experience. Brings back one of the staples of wrestling in the Carolinas, brings back one of the most popular matches ever in this part of the world. War Games, the match beyond. It will be the Enforcer, C.W. Anderson, starting for the Experience, the Man Scout, Jake Manning, starting for the Revolt, and Tommy Thomas. How appropriate that the veteran, how appropriate that an Anderson starts off War Games.
Brad, you are extremely too calm for this. This is War Games, Brad. We're literally seeing 2 rings and a massive cage, and 10 men are going to go in there and hurt each other, Brad. How can you not be excited? This is the first time this happened in Charlotte in almost 20 years.
I'll tell you how, because there's an eerie calm in this room right now. People know that 10 amazing professional wrestlers are about to put their futures on the line. They are about to risk their health and well-being in the attempt to win a war.
Like we were talking about in previous matches, every move you take takes a little bit off of your career. In this match, this isn't just going to take off a match or two. This can literally end careers in an instant. This structure, everything about it, just screams torture and torment and finality.
Yeah, absolutely. In this one, it's almost more like every step. Anderson's head raked against the cage.
Not even the front part, the back part, which is the most sensitive area. If you've ever gotten a haircut, you know how sensitive the back of the head is.
2 veterans starting this off. The Man Scout, Jake Manning, more than 10 years in this great sport, the longest reigning heavyweight champion in the history of this organization. But the 20-plus year pro just unleashed the shotgun super kick.
Yeah, but let's not sleep on the ECW original, C.W. Anderson. I mean, that's a man that Steve Corino brought in, not just because he is an enforcer, but because they are such close friends that he knows that he can count on CW not only to have his back, but to take out the competition.
Yeah, absolutely. Anderson has started War Games before. I was in the arena in 2003 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, when it was Steve Corino's.
3 minutes have expired. Period. 2 minutes remain.
2 minutes remaining in the first period. Back 2003, it was Steve Corino's Extreme Horsemen against Terry Funk's Funking Army. And Anderson started that one. So the Experience, no pun intended, is on the side of Anderson in this matchup. Like we've touched on, this is the first time in almost 20 years for War Games in the Carolinas. None of the other 5 men on the side of the Revolt have ever stepped in to a match like this before.
Absolutely, Brad. This right now, the way it looks, is veterans versus the next generation, basically. It's the guys that have been around, your Adam Pages, your Corey Hollises, your John Skyler, C.W. Anderson, and Gunner. All those guys have been all around the world. They've been doing this for almost 10-plus years each. Whereas on the other side with the Revolt, these guys have been tearing up the Carolinas since before I was even in the Carolinas, Brad.
Yeah, I think it's a great point that you make about how on the side of the Revolt, you've got men who have had the pleasure of a tour here and there, but they have not had the worldwide recognition that some of the men on the side of the Experience have had.
Absolutely. Caleb Konley and Jake Manning are the veterans for Team PWX, for the Revolt. They are the veterans, so that should say a lot when 2 of your veterans are arguably younger than 2 of their opponents.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 of the hardest working guys in the entire sport. Very, very few people whose work ethic I respect as much as that of Jake Manning, who is stomping away at the enforcer.
8, 7, 6.
Here's the countdown. 4, 3, 2. Who gets the advantage, Brad?
There's the count. It's the Southern Savior, John Skyler. The Xperience has won the toss. The Xperience has got the advantage.
The PWX World Heavyweight Champion is in the building.
Oh, slick shot spear through the ropes, and the Southern Savior has hit the scene.
And he's going to tear down the cage, Brad.
Skyler, like a dog, is gnawing to get out of that fence.
And let's not forget the history between Jake Manning and John Skyler, which ended when Jake Manning had to receive 20 lashes from the Southern Savior. These two men have hated each other for a while.
Elbow to the face from Anderson. And of course, the nature of War Games, for anyone that has never seen this unique and dangerous matchup, they will now alternate. The next man in will be from the Revolt. Oh dear! Oh, spine buster! Stuck him in the center of the ring. The next man in will be from the Revolt. Then will be one from the Xperience, then one from the Revolt. They will alternate until all 10 men are in the ring, and the matchup cannot end for any reason until all 10 men have entered the cage, and then it is submission or surrender.
Absolutely. No pinfalls here, Brad. Literally the only way to win this match is to beat somebody so badly that they have to quit.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's incredibly dangerous that this match cannot be stopped due to injury or anything else until all 10 men are in the ring. No matter what happens to Jake Manning or anyone else during this time, the matchup does not stop. It cannot stop until all 10 have entered the cage.
Brad, I'm going to tell you a little fact about this match after we see who the next person for the Revolt is.
It's Caleb Konley.
Team Revolt, Caleb Konley.
Former PWX champion Caleb Konley. What some people consider to be the leader of the Revolt.
Yeah, absolutely. He is the man that started this entire movement. Ah! Skyler's whole body goes against the cage.
I mean, Caleb has believed in this company so much that he actually quit to bring an army back with him, and that army is known as the Revolt.
Yeah, absolutely. Manning and Konley and Riley feel it was on their backs that PWX was built. They don't feel it's theirs, they feel it's everybody's. That's what this whole movement is about, that it's all of ours. PWX belongs to all of us. And Anderson gets sent into the cage. Skyler is being tormented in the far corner. They are trying to take PWX back.
Oh my God. Wait, can we get a close-up on that? Is Jake Manning bleeding from the head?
Absolutely. The forehead of the Man Scout is busted wide open. We have got ringside cameras floating all around to hopefully not miss a moment of this grueling matchup. Anderson in between the two rings as Skyler now gets his face grated on the cage.
And Brad, like you said before, I actually did talk to Brian and Patrick. They did say that no matter what happens in that ring tonight, no one will be getting in or out of that cage unless they are in that match. That means there's not going to be any paramedics coming in. If someone gets hurt, they could have chop suey sticking out of their leg. This match will continue until we have a winner. Wait, Corino's running. What's he?
So the next man in will be for the Xperience.
There we go.
For
Adam
Team
Page.
Xperience, Adam
One half
Page.
of your PWX Tag Team Champions in Country Jack, Adam Page, came in and basically got shut down by Jake Manning.
Swing and a miss. Oh, clothesline takes Manning's head off. Page sent over the top, holds on. Could be that clipping clothesline. Yes, it is. The king of old school is celebrating on the outside.
No one does that move better than Adam Page, Brad.
John Skyler has removed his heavy cowboy boot.
He's literally beating a man with a boot. That's actually happening. He's taking off his boot and physically accosting another human being with it. And if I remember correctly, those cowboy boots are steel-toed.
Yeah, absolutely. Anderson has got that heavy-duty rope. No doubt that Page picked up off the farm in Aaron's Creek, Virginia. Now the Xperience have got a one-man advantage for a few precious moments until the next man for the Revolt will enter, and it will be evened up again.
Right now, Adam Page came in and completely changed the momentum of this match. And for someone, I have personally slept on Adam Page's couch before. I have been to his house, and the man woke me up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go work on his farm. Do you understand how absurd that is? This man does nothing but wrestle, farm, and work out.
Yeah, this is a rough, scuffling country boy is Adam Page. Those seconds are ticking away. We are about to be 3-on-3 here.
Who's next for the Revolt? One half of the Bravado brothers.
Lancelot Bravado is in.
Harlem Bravado for Team Revolt.
Lancelot Bravado is in, swinging a miss.
Birch and Lance.
Firing away here. The war paint on the face of Lancelot Bravado as he sends Page into the cage. He sends Skyler into the cage. He sends Anderson into the cage.
And Steve Corino is livid.
Yes, he is. Lancelot Bravado charges with the knee. All the action in one ring at this precise moment in time. Page goes behind. Bravado goes behind. Roll through. Can he German him? Oh! Stuck him on his shoulder and head.
Corino is upset. He's taking off the vest, Brad. He's taking off the vest.
I think Corino knows better than to charge into this cage. He already got his clock cleaned by Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And this is the 3-on-3 advantage. Showcased better than
5,
anything.
6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
This is the 3-on-3 advantage. Now in a few short moments, the Xperience will get an edge, and they won't be able to do that because there'll be another man in. I want to point out real quick before that happens, I'm very intrigued by the lineups that both teams have selected, as both the Xperience and the Revolt, neither side chose to put their established teams in early together.
Absolutely.
One Bravado, one Country Jack, Zane and Caleb. I think if I were making the strategy, I might would have started with, say, both members of Country Jack. Or if I was on the Revolt, maybe both Bravados. Or maybe Zane and Caleb. I would have put a team that knows how to work and win together in there early on. Maybe that's just me.
But
Seconds
Brad,
are ticking away.
As you know, this match, Corey Hollis is here, the other half
Corey Hollis for Team
of Country Jack.
Xperience.
But Brad, like you know, this match isn't about structure. This isn't about teamwork. This is just a straight up fight, Brad.
Well, no, but you gotta believe that Corino has been thinking and talking strategy with his team for weeks now.
Now, Brad, in your personal opinion, as someone that has been in this business for over 20 years, for someone that has traveled to almost every major promotion in the world today, Brad, which one is better, to have the man advantage or to have the fresh man be the last person to come in?
That's a great point. It all depends upon how well that team can work together. If you get the man advantage and you, oh, heads up, in the dead center of the ring, Skyler is trying to power drive the man scout, dead center in the ring. Oh, Skyler hits hard. If your team can work well together, they can neutralize the fact that the other team gets that last man in. So in that regard, I'm going to say it's better to win the toss and have the advantage the whole time, because it's like being up by a touchdown. It's like having the advantage in a football game or any kind of sport. If you're up on points, even with the chance of them coming back, it's still better to be up than to try to play catch up. And that's what the team that's down one man, in this case the Revolt, that's what they're doing. Yes, they will have the opportunity to have the last man into the cage. He'll be fresher than everybody else, but if all his teammates have been beaten down and brutalized, that fresh man could find himself 5, 4, 3 on 1.
Oh, absolutely, Brett. Wow. And it looks like the Xperience is going to be very, very happy when their next teammate comes out. Not here. This will be the 4th man for the
Zane
Revolt.
Riley for Team Revolt.
It's Zane Riley, and Charlotte, North Carolina has come alive for him.
Each team has 1 man left.
And this is interesting to me. I think if I were the Revolt, I might would have saved Zane to come in last, to be the heavy hitter. The Xperience has done that. They only have 1 man left, and it clearly will be the modern-day Viking gunner.
Personally, I would have sent Caleb out first. I feel like with Caleb's array of moves and how long he's been doing this, that he could probably survive the longest. When you send out somebody, when you send out a wily veteran like Jake Manning, you do have to worry about the fact that he is a veteran.
He's got all that wear and tear on his body.
Absolutely.
It's no secret that Jake Manning is wrestling with a severe knee injury that should require surgery. He is rehabbing it on his own. I want to point out, I don't know if we can get it.
Holy CI!
Konley sends Skyler to the canvas hard, but again, the match cannot end. Zane Riley is going up.
The big boys on the top rope in the Heinrich District
came all the way down with his body weight on the champion. I want to point out, if we can get a shot of it, on the far side of the ring, C.W. Anderson is taking apart the top rope. That is a strategy that we have seen used in War Games before in the far ring. Jake Manning just prevented it from going any further, but that top rope has been loosened, and that creates a situation where those hard steel buckles that we talked about earlier can be used as weapons, because once again, anything goes inside the cage.
And speaking of weapons, the Revolt has been passing around this boot that John Skyler took off earlier in the match.
It's the modern-day Viking.
And the final member of Team Xperience, Gunner.
The last man in for the Xperience is the modern-day Viking. Corino is jaw-jacking with every fan in attendance.
Corino's damn near naked, Brad.
Anderson and Manning, the 2 men who started this match, are still slugging it out on the far side of the ring. The modern-day Viking has got a hold of Caleb Konley and Lancelot Bravado. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, he sends them all to the canvas. John Skyler taking punishment for the good of the team there.
And Brad, maybe, just maybe, I'm starting to think that you and Corino might have had a little conversation before this match, because you said the exact same thing. You send out your monster last.
Absolutely.
Your monster is your insurance policy in this match. And for the Xperience, Gunner is that insurance policy.
We got a hoss battle in the center of the ring between the 2 hardest hitters, the 2 heaviest hands, the 2 biggest bulls on both sides.
A hog molly versus the man with iron fist.
Who's going to get the better of this exchange? So many men are down. Anderson has taken apart the top rope in the far ring. The ring where Manning and Country Jack and Konley are all fighting. Swinging a miss. He got the spear from Gunner.
I feel like they practiced that together. John's like, I'm going to practice my slingshot while you practice your regular. I'd hate to be the test dummy for that one.
And here comes the last man for the Revolt.
Everyone knows it's the other half of the Bravado brothers.
Absolutely, it will be Harlem Bravado.
The man that kicks harder than just about anybody I've ever experienced.
Harlem Bravado.
Wait a minute.
Bravado has stepped
Beyond begins.
He just said, oh, here comes Skyler. The match beyond has officially started. Harlem Bravado sent hard into the floor. Oh, God, the door. Corino takes it official. What the hell is going on now?
As much as I love Steve Corino, this makes me love him even more. This was the greatest strategy, the greatest con game I've ever heard of. Lock out the 5th man, once the match is official.
Oh, he's got a kendo stick. He's throwing chairs in the ring. The king of old school had a master plan. You asked me which was better. Clearly, the better position is to have that one-man advantage because not only have they isolated Harlem Bravado, Corino is locking the cage door.
And it's not like Harlem's out there with some slouch either. He's not out there with myself. He's not out there with Amber Young. He is out there against Steve Corino, a man that has gone all around the world, an ECW original.
Former multiple-time world champion Steve Corino is standing guard of the door. 2 or 3 officials have been knocked out. Harlem Bravado has been compromised, but Tommy, he stepped inside the cage. The match is official. The match beyond has started. It should be all 10 men locked in the cage, but it's only 9. But the submission or surrender can happen at any time, and I don't see a way for Harlem Bravado to get in this cage.
Theoretically, he could try to climb in, but once again, like I said, you've got Steve Corino out there beating him with a chain. I don't think I'd get up if I was Harlem.
Corino has got Stan Hansen like fire in his eyes with that chain. He throws it into Anderson. They have stashed weapons all over the ringside area. This was clearly the plan. Konley just went into the cage. One ring has been deconstructed, and it is 5 on 4, and 4 men who have been beaten down badly.
Oh, these guys are giving it every single thing that they've got. And now you see the referees trying to help out the elder fallen Bravado brother outside of the ring.
Yeah, the officials are calling for support from the back.
If I was Steve Corino, I would go attack those referees right now. I would make sure that Harlem never steps foot in that ring.
We are seeing the casualties of war. They've got the chair on the bad leg of the Man Scout. They've got the chair on the bad leg of the Man Scout. Now what's going on? It's Ethan Case.
What is he doing here?
Ethan Case gave up his opportunity in the War Games to go after Elijah Evans, and he's got the king of old school. Sends him into the cage.
No. This cannot be good for the king.
Ethan Case, and now the experience is locked in. Ethan Case gave up his chance on the far side. Bravado is climbing into the cage.
Oh my God,
he's on the top of the cage. Oh God!
Holy shnikes!
It is 5 on 5, as it should be, as it was meant to be. 5 on 5 in the match beyond.
The Revolt has found a way to come back in this match, and Corey Hollis is out cold.
And now the experience has filled this cage with weapons that are being used against them. Their coach, their mentor, their king has been sent packing by Ethan Case. And now 5 on 5, the match beyond like we intended it to be. Tommy Thomas, it is submission or surrender.
This is what every single fan in this building paid to see. They came in here to see 10 men go into 2 rings surrounded by 1 steel cage. It's like the Thunderdome at JCSU University tonight.
Oh, they got Gunner with 2 chairs. There's a fight going on in the other ring. Super kick, no. Whiff, no. Swing and a miss. Bravado's fighting it out. Anderson, Skyler, Zane, and Caleb fighting it out.
I think the fans are calling for blood. They said they want to see another concerto on another member of the Experience.
They just rang Corey Hollis's bell. Ow.
Wow, this is getting a little out of hand, Brad.
Zane and Caleb. Working together.
Christ. Brad,
Bulldog.
never have I been so happy to be sitting next to you and being nowhere near that ring right now.
This crowd in Charlotte, North Carolina is 1,000,000% behind the Revolt. Oh, Manning has got Adam Page trapped in the center of the ring.
Adam Page might quit right here. Caleb Konley's going to join him.
Double cross faces. The Bravados are standing tall in the far ring. Adam Page has been compromised.
Oh no, this is not good, because now both Bravados have a leg, and Zane Riley's looking for, no.
Oh dear.
Oil change.
Double cross faces, double crabs, and a thumb in the bomb. Adam Page is in the Revolt's torture device. Oh, but C.W. Anderson is back up. Gunner is back up. Country Jack is back up.
We were literally a few seconds away from the Revolt winning this match.
Page was literally in like a medieval torture device from the Revolt. Ooh, Anderson takes a chair hard on the far side.
I don't think these chairs should be in that ring, Brad.
They shouldn't be. That's the action of the king of old school, King Corino, who may still be fighting with Ethan Case somewhere in the building.
It is true. They very might well be duking it out. As I've said, Corino was the one that gave myself, Ethan, and Elijah
shotgun super kick
the start. So, for all we know, those two could be either duking it out or having a beer backstage.
Anderson hit his head. Everyone down. Oh, except for the modern day Viking. Oh dear. Oh, he just power bombed. He just power bombed Harlem Bravado on a chair.
He just power bombed Harlem so hard that Harlem had to sit up, because if you've ever been knocked out before, Brad, the minute your head hits that mat, you wake back up from consciousness, or from unconsciousness. Excuse me.
Lancelot just swung that kendo stick like a baseball bat at Gunner's head. Ah, power slam through the chair. The brutality between all 10 of these men. The passion, the pride between all of them. Deadlift pile driver! Stuck him on the chair! Adam Page
all he's got to do is put her in a submission hold, and Adam Page will be unconscious.
The old Indian Deathlock. Scout's honor! The Indian Deathlock is locked in on Adam Page. Skyler is trying to make his way. Gunner is trying to get up. There's a member of the Revolt stopping a member of the Experience at every turn. Oh, he's got, what is that?
Is that a screwdriver?
I think it's a screwdriver from the ring crew. He's trying to gouge Manning in the eyes. Caleb Konley comes up. I don't know how much more my voice can take of this incredible war. Oh, Skyler landed hard.
Oh.
Page is stuck in that figure four. Finally, C.W. Anderson broke him out.
Well, right now, look down in your bottom left corner. Gunner is trying to choke Zane out. Same thing with Caleb trying to choke out Skyler. Who will quit first?
Caleb has got the ring ropes and a screwdriver in the face. He's got the screwdriver stabbing him in the eyes and the face.
I told you, Brad, we're not stopping this for anything.
It will be submission or surrender. The referees are gathering at the Southern Savior, John Skyler. All the Revolt is standing tall. They have isolated the champion, and they are stabbing him in the head. He gave it up.
Oh, my God. The Revolt wins. Revolt wins. Revolt wins.
John Skyler gave it up, and the war beats of the Revolt ring out.
Winners of the War Games, Team REVOLT.
What an unbelievable, physical, brutal, violent spectacle we have seen here tonight. Rise of a champion. Our anniversary extravaganza ends with the Revolt standing tall. The champion is a quivering heat on the canvas. The general is laid out. The king is fleeing the castle. And the Revolt has taken back our premier wrestling experience.